Let's bring in retired U.S. Army Brigadier General Don Bolduc. General, good morning to you. So a lot of people waking up right now at the end of a truly remarkable week. And yesterday we got incredible detail on Operation Midnight Hammer with General Kane during his press briefing. Listen to a portion of what he had to say here.
Operation Midnight Hammer was the culmination of those 15 years of incredible work. We believe that this is the largest single Patriot engagement in U.S. military history. Weapons 2, 3, 4, 5 were tasked to enter the main shaft, move down into the complex at greater than 1,000 feet per second, and explode in the mission space. Here's what we know following the attacks and the strikes on Fordo. First, that the weapons were built, tested, and loaded properly. 2, the weapons were released on speed and on parameters. 3, the weapons all guided to their intended targets and to their intended aim points. 4, the weapons functioned as designed, meaning they exploded.
What stood out to you with the information he provided?
Well, I think the transparency is to be recognized and to be applauded. You know, first of all, I fully support the strike. I think it was necessary. I think it was necessary to support our Israeli partners and send a message, and it sent a big message. These GBU-57s, deep penetration, delayed detonation, high explosive payload, precision guided, and as the chairman pointed out, global positioning system and inertial navigation systems allowed it to come in on position, on velocity, and on orientation and destroy those targets. They used them against the optimal target set, hardened facilities. And, the desire is to disable the enemy infrastructure and reduce its ability to wage war. I think we accomplished that mission. And I think that we need to, really look forward to positive ceasefire, and the entire world needs to get around it. And, members of Congress need to unite now and not divide themselves. This is a time to get behind the president. This is a time to get behind Israel and move forward to deter, Iran, which has, prior to October 7th, really created a lot of problems in that region. And really, when you look at how the geopolitical power has changed since October 7th, with how Netanyahu and Israel has executed the war, how they have really neutralized Hamas and Hezbollah. Iran is now isolated. These are all things that play into our favor going into any kind of negotiation.
Yeah, and General, leading up to U.S. involvement, there were 8 days of airstrikes by Israel inside Iran. And the Wall Street Journal has just a fantastic article about all of that and the planning that transpired leading up to these operations. It's called Inside Operation Narnia, the daring attack Israel feared it couldn't pull off. At midnight on June 13th, Israel's generals gathered in a bunker beneath Israeli Air Force headquarters and watched as jets descended on Tehran in an operation they called Red Wedding. Hours later, and 1,000 miles away, Iran's top military commanders were dead. A mass killing much like the famous wedding scene from the show Game of Thrones. They would also detail the simultaneous killing of Iran's top nuclear scientists, and they called it Operation Narnia because even they thought it was so fantastical. They weren't sure that they could pull this off. So how different is the region now than it was a week ago? And how does President Trump make sure it stays this way?
Well, I think it's very different. And I think the balance of power has shifted to Israel. That helps America support Israel and support the region in negotiations with Iran, who is, clearly a country that is an existential threat to Israel and also a threat to the United States. So what the president needs to do is, continue to do exactly what he is doing, support Israel, bring Iran to the table. They are primed for that now. They are isolated. Their proxies have been neutralized, so they can't bring a ground fight to Israel. Gaza is the next question. We need strong diplomacy. We need to unite the Western world around this effort. And we need to re-energize the Abraham Accords. I've always been in favor of a regional solution, and I always thought that the Abraham Accords were an excellent way to bring that region together to develop stability and peace, and to marginalize actors like Iran who just want to disrupt things and become the regional power and have everybody kowtow to them. I think that's over. I think we have the momentum. We just need to pressure and pursue and stay on that momentum and don't let it up.
Keep on working towards it. And you're right, that's the hope, that more nations will sign on to the Abraham Accords. And all of this could be leading up to that. Yesterday, we learned that the U.S. and Iran, there's no date for us to meet with them to continue negotiations, but that effort is also ongoing. General Bolduc, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.